Coach, please start us with an opening statement.
Well, definitely another SEC week for us. As I've mentioned before, last 6 games of our regular season, and that leads us right into postseason play. We're coming up on the most difficult part of our schedule, the second most difficult schedule left in college basketball, I believe, behind Arizona. But Mark Byington does a great job. Vanderbilt is a tough opponent, nationally ranked. Got off to a hot start. Still playing great basketball, ranked number 19 in the country. But for us, we're still looking to have home court advantage. We have a great atmosphere. Last game wasn't able to come away on the side of a victory that we hoped. Tighten some things up in order to get there. Jacob Cruz is doing a great job. Obviously, he ranks top 5 in school history overall with his effective field goal percentage, which is excellent. For the first time in school history, we got 3 guys shooting over a certain percentage, or at least 1.75 made 3-pointers per game at 37%. Mark Mitchell, points, rebounds, assists, tremendous versatile player, one of the top versatile players in the country. He has done a tremendous job for us down the stretch, and we're just going to need each and every last one of our guys to execute how we need to execute and just get to playing basketball with our instincts. And each game will display a different prep and preparation, but the unique part is these games are going to come fast, so we're excited.
Questions?
What do you feel like? You mentioned how difficult this last 6-game stretch is. What's important for you guys to show in this final 6-game stretch of the regular season here?
Well, we just got to continue to show growth, show the things where we're not self-inflicting, whether it's blown coverages or turnovers. You got to take care of the basketball. Everybody talks about March Madness. The madness starts in February, and it's a lot of jockeying for position in the SEC. So for us, we have to continue to rebound the basketball, continue to defend possession by possession, minimize opponents' opportunities the best that we can, and then be able to make in-game adjustments. I think that's the most important part. Players are going to make plays, and there are some tremendous players in our conference and across the country, so we got to do our job. Something's going on. Hold on 1 second. We got it. We had a magnet. We had a magnet on that box. All good. Next question.
Coach, when you look at Vandy, them being kind of an undersized team again, how do you feel like you'll be able to leverage your size advantage in this match?
There's no team in our conference undersized. 0. I don't look at the height. I look at the fight. Each team has fight, and there's no advantage anywhere on the court. We got to go out and play basketball at the best of our ability and minimize our mistakes. Early positioning from guards as well as posts is going to be important. Continuing to find angles on passes is going to be important. Being able to wedge out rebounding opportunities is going to be important. And staying out of foul trouble, that's going to be just as important. So for me, I don't look at the size, I look at the fight of every team in our conference, and there is not one that is undersized in my eyes.
Coach, on a similar note, what makes Tyler Tanner difficult to deal with on both ends of the floor?
Tyler Tanner is one of the most improved players in the country. And when I say improve, it's not an insult, it's just a matter of opportunity. Last year, he didn't have the opportunity that he had this year. He still impacted the game with the minutes that he played. And obviously the byproduct of 30-plus minutes is the production that he had versus minimizing that production based off the minutes last year. His speed, his quickness, very seldom does he make mistakes. Being able to not only make decisions quick, but being able to get his team involved. He does a great job. He's one of the best players in our conference and throughout the country this season.
Coach, you kind of touched on it, but that foul trouble, how are you working with Sean, whose size has become so vital for the team? How are you working with him to kind of rein in that foul trouble and keep him on the court?
Well, Sean's done a tremendous job throughout his time here. His growth has been a great growth in this area alone. And I'm proud of what he's done so far, and I'm looking for him to make the next step that he will make, so to speak. He knows his importance to our team. He knows in terms of not being baited to foul. I would have loved for 2 fouls to be on the defensive end and not 2 fouls to be where they were last game. And we just got to make sure we continue to push him through in these moments. Watching a lot of film is one of them. Being able to understand that the opponents that you play, their tendencies and different angles, their ability to draw fouls, but also early positioning on defense will eliminate foul trouble. Early positioning on offense will eliminate offensive fouls.
Kind of similarly, you've talked going into the last couple games about needing more from Sean's backups. So what are you looking for from Nicholas Randall and Trent Burns or Luke Northweather to show that they're ready for more in-game responsibility?
Consistency. I think that's the major part when you're looking at lineups, being able to find consistency amongst the team in that area. Opportunities there, we have to be able to find the consistency throughout the game and throughout practices.
Coach, I think Vanderbilt's only scored below 80 points 4 times this season.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into preparing defensively for a team that can put a lot of points up on the scoreboard like that?
Well, the thing is, we have to understand ultimately at this level, you have tremendous shot makers, and we got to get a hand up without fouling. Can't send them to the line for easy shots. When you see that ball go in on the free throw line multiple times, that can kind of open it up for you, especially beyond the arc. They're a tremendous team when it comes down to scoring. They've been that through the entire year. They've been the spark of the SEC conference as quote-unquote our elite team early on, where we were able to kind of jockey for position with other teams, being able to get nationally ranked and otherwise. So they had a tremendous net ranking early on, and they continue to do so. Right now, they're one of the best teams with 4 losses in the conference. And it just speaks to our conference and our competition. It's a very tough conference when it comes down to style of play, when it comes down to tempo, when it comes down to what we just spoke about, points per game and otherwise. You have to understand this is still a team that, in our conference has been elite. But what it says is the parallel of travel, home game, road game. I mean, it's up for grabs each night. You cannot chalk up anything in this conference, and it's just going to continue to get tougher. I feel for the referees in these situations because this is the toughest I've seen the conference been, especially with what's on the line.
Your final 6-game stretch, you mentioned how tough it is. With 3 of those games being at home, coming off a rare home loss, you're preaching the importance of protecting home court?
Yeah, we always talk about home court advantage. It starts with our preparation, us being at home and a routine, minimizing distractions, things like that. Doesn't mean you're going to go undefeated at home. I don't think any team is undefeated in our conference at home. But you have to be able to manage your emotions, manage the game, manage situations. And you hope the ball goes in a little bit more for you than it does the opponent, especially on your home court. So our conference, again, when you look at the stats, there's been close to, I want to say, 90 plus games already, Jason. But with that, you have almost 40% road teams winning those games. That is a scary stat, and I don't know if it's ever been like that before. So again, I encourage you guys to look up that stat and really dive into it, because I don't know if it's happened that way where home court has been imposed by several of our opponents like it has been.
What does that say to you? What do you take from that number?
Any game, you got to go out and give your very best.
Coach, over his time at Mizzou, Mark Mitchell has grown into a really good playmaker. What does it mean to have Mark Mitchell, the passer, to your offense?
Well, I'd rather have Mark Mitchell, the aggressor. And when he makes the right reads, he gives and takes what the defense allows. So being able to get the ball in his hands, allow him to make downhill decisions. He's either going to come away with a basket, which he leads the country in possible and ones. He's going to make the right read where he's able to spray the ball to his teammates and share. or he'll end up drawing a foul and we get it out of bounds, right? I think ultimately when you have a kid as versatile as Mark, but with the IQ, the size, the position, you got to utilize it, and we'll continue to utilize it. I think it helps Jacob Cruz, Jaden Stone, and Trent Pierce to get open. But again, in transition, that's something that he's also an asset in. So downhill, he's tough to stop.
Final question?
Coach, kind of broad here, but at this point in the season, how do you coach or inspire consistency with players?
I think when you are at this phase, it makes itself. It organizes itself. You know who's been the most consistent, and you know who's been the least inconsistent, right? I have a team where we've been unfortunate, where majority of our guys have just started with 12 games. We have a 12-game season where other teams have had their guys for the entire duration of non-conference, and they're operating on 25 games. So for us, Trent Pierce, first game was 12 games ago. Jaden Stone played some preseason, but 12 games, he's gotten in a rhythm. So your team grows as consistent as the availability is, and the in and out is minimized. We've not had distractions off the court. We've not had anything but injuries impact us, and that's what we're working through. So are we behind? Possibly, but have we seen the best version of our team in spurts? So we have to be able now to put 40 straight minutes together of consistent basketball with no panic. And when I say that, teams get up and down with the score, runs happen. I think we've handled on the road well, being down in the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes of a game, close to 7 or 8 points, and then working our way back. At home, we got to allow simplicity, allow ourselves to make plays for each other and not home run plays.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, MIZ.